Robin, it's been a while since we've talked about anything besides just basketball, YouTube.
That's right, Chase. It's good to be back, and we're going to talk about the NBA season, which should be, if there's not a lot of injuries, it should be a excellent season, particularly in the Eastern Conference. I think we finally have teams that are healthy, and a lot of power moves were made over the summertime. It was a pretty remarkable off season, and you didn't. I remember asking you a couple years ago if you thought LeBron was going to go back to Cleveland, and you were adamant that it was never going to happen, that he was going to stay in Miami
Yes,
life. So, yeah,
I'm an
let's
idiot.
go back to Cleveland.
I'm a doofus. It makes no sense. Makes
Yeah,
zero.
at the time, it seemed like why would he go back? But Cleveland kept getting picks, and Kyrie Irving, emerged. So it definitely made sense. And with the deterioration of Dwayne Wade, we didn't know how bad the knee was going to get.
I don't know. I think the thing is that what's clear is that he wants total control. And the second they amnestied Mike Miller without when he said don't do that, it basically signaled to him he doesn't have complete control over here anymore. Even though they did draft Shabazz Napier, but
Right, right.
I think like him and his people, because really this move is more about his people than him. He could give a fuck. He just wants to play for a title, but
Yeah,
they just want to be where they have the most control as possible, and Cleveland's just willing to give them everything, and they have.
that's an excellent point. And I think with Mike Miller, it was more than just about basketball. He's also a good friend of his, and now they're reunited in Cleveland. So, man, yeah, I mean, I mean, as far as Cleveland goes next season, I mean, do you really think the chemistry is going to work now that they got Kyrie, LeBron, and Kevin Love? Um,
I don't.
it's a weird dynamic because Love hasn't really been to the playoffs yet, and Kyrie, for as good as he is, he's yet to show that he's a great defender, and not so sure if he's a really an unselfish basketball player. So I got a little bit of reservations about it.
The thing about when he went to Miami and those three dudes joined up, Chris Bosh, Dwayne Wade, LeBron James. At the time when they first went together, they're all unselfish. They're all elite defenders. Now you can say LeBron and Kevin Love are unselfish. Kyrie, he kind of can't play without the ball, and he doesn't play defense at all. So I don't know how far they're going to go. But the biggest question for them is if they can get Dion Waiters' head on straight. Because right now he's insane.
Exactly. We saw a quote from him today in the news about him and Kyrie being the best backcourt in the league. But I don't know. To me, it seems like him and Kyrie and some of the other guys on the team didn't get along last season. Kenny Smith was saying that a lot of it had to do with when guys aren't on their contracts yet, they're all fighting to prove themselves, and sometimes it just doesn't work out.
I don't know. I don't. I think it's going to take a while, and it's going to have to take Kyrie changing how he plays. I mean, he is LeBron. Is LeBron going to let him play make? Is the question. I don't really know.
I'm worried about the coaching staff. I mean, they hired the guy from Europe. Um, I don't know how much respect LeBron has for him, but I think that'll be a tough task to make that combination work.
I mean, the thing you have to is LeBron went to Cleveland without ever talking to that guy. His name's David Blatt. He's
Yeah, he
been
just talked to Dan Gilbert. That was really it, right?
yeah, David Blatt. He's been in Europe for years. NBA teams have been trying to get him forever, and
Oh,
then
really? Okay.
yeah, and then Cleveland got him because he thought he was going to have. It was a complete. It looked like it was going to be a complete rebuilding situation. We got Andrew Wiggins, Anthony Bennett, all these young guys, complete, just start from the ground. And then LeBron walks in, and then half the kids are shipped off for Kevin Love.
Yeah,
And now he's just like, well, I have this job. Guess it's nice. But yeah,
it's
like,
nice, but I wouldn't want to be him. He's going to be under a microscope, and a lot of people were saying that they should have hired Mark Jackson. You know, even before LeBron went back to Cleveland. But I still think they're definitely they definitely have the talent, and they'll definitely still be a legit top three team in the East. It's just that when they get deep into the playoffs,
That's not
you know,
hard. Being a top three team in the East,
it's not not at all.
I
But
could okay. I'll make a $10 bet with you right now. Top three in the East is going to be Bulls, Cavs, Heat. There, pretty sure it'll be them.
no doubt about it. I mean, who else could really contend? I mean, maybe Brooklyn. That's a big possibility. But
No, they don't have Paul Pierce anymore. He went to Washington.
I'm trying to think.
I mean,
Indiana,
Charlotte's a good dark horse,
right now, definitely.
like for a team for people that they wouldn't
They
see
got
coming.
youth and they got size. It's a huge year for them. They really have to create a great impression. But back to Cleveland. I don't know, man. I'm not really confident about them being a championship contender. But the thing I like about it is LeBron is he's not really putting a lot of pressure on himself. So if they don't win the championship, it's not the end of the world. So
No, he didn't have pressure anymore. He already won the ring. He already got it. He's good. He's just gonna have fun the rest of his career and do what he wants to do. Good for him.
all right, so looking at Miami now, I mean, with Bosch is back, Wade is back. They signed Luol Deng. They
I think that's probably the biggest signing of the offseason behind LeBron because they don't lose that much. Lou can be a better defender than LeBron because he's more of a defensive guy than offensive anyway. But yeah,
picked up Danny Granger. They had a record number of cap space, right?
they
When they
had
all
a
opted out, they definitely had a
large
lot of room
amount
signing
of
guys.
cap
But it was
space.
kind of, in some ways, it felt kind of underwhelming when you looked at who they signed. They also signed Josh McRoberts. You
Yeah,
just
those
thought
two weren't.
they could have made an extra move to really, attract LeBron
I
to
th-
stay.
I think they should have not signed McRoberts and Granger and threw that money at Isaiah Thomas and let Mario Chalmers go.
Yeah, I
But
definitely agree with that.
but he ended up in Phoenix, where
Yeah, so
Phoenix
Phoenix has like three guards right now
they
with
have
Bledsoe,
four.
Thomas, and Drog. And
They have both Dragics.
oh, okay, so they got four guards.
Yeah, I don't know what they're gonna do with that. But okay.
But as far as Miami goes, where do you see? Now, I was excited when Bosch and Wade first signed with them before LeBron was even there. I thought they would definitely make it to the finals just with Bosch and Wade alone. But now, a couple years later, 4 years later, I mean, how much do you think they have left in the tank just by themselves?
Bosch is still pretty great, but he's gonna have to completely change how he's playing because he's
Right,
playing.
right.
He was complete.
He's going to be less of a jump shooter now. I think they'll utilize him more in the offense, and it'll be like Toronto,
Yeah,
you know.
I don't
And
like Wade's a big question mark there, but they got dang. Like, there's no, not it's his load's not gonna be that much different than it was.
at least defensively, yeah.
I don't know. I think they're still pretty good. Josh McRoberts did have a good year last year, but I don't think it was worth throwing $5 million at him.
Yeah.
But again, a couple years from now, it's gonna be stupid because the salary cap's gonna be so huge. Whatever, $5 million is nothing. But yeah, I think they'll
But
be.
yeah, I'm really interested to see how Wade's going to bounce back. He's got a lot to prove. When you get your meniscus shaved, it comes back to bite you about maybe 9 to 10 years down the road, and that's what he's dealing with right now. But just you just wish him the best. I don't know if there's anything he could have done to repair it over the summer. I haven't heard anything, but he apparently he did go on a strict diet and did lose a lot of weight. So yeah, I think him and Bosch by themselves without LeBron are still going to be fun to watch. So
But
can't wait.
they're not by themselves. They got Lou Aldang, which
Well, I'm
is
just talking about
yeah.
it as far as
Oh yeah,
power. Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
They got Danny Granger coming off the bench. I mean, it's not. It wasn't a bad signing. It just seemed like Pat Riley had to pull off something miraculous at that
He
point, and it just didn't happen.
he thought he had LeBron. He thought
Yeah.
I don't know.
But
And
who did I'm trying to think of who LeBron really wanted. I can't.
I don't I don't think there was anybody he really wanted. I think he already had he made his mind mad up. He like
There was so much talk about them getting
okay,
Carmelo with at that time.
that was just hubbub.
Yeah.
But Lee Jenkins, the guy that wrote the Sports Illustrated article where LeBron said it,
Yeah.
they contacted him to do that in April. So
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
so that was like even before the playoffs. So I think he had already made his mind made up a
Right. Right.
while ago that he was going back.
Uh,
But
so the other team in the East is the Bulls, who had a pretty great off season. They picked up Pau Gasol,
they
getting finally getting Derrick Rose back healthy. I think it was a good move for Rose to play with USA. I just think he didn't really try to kill himself. It was just a nice way to work off the rust, just kind of just get back into the swing of things. Because I think sometimes when you come back into training camp cold like that, it's just tough. And I think the last time he played with USA, he won the MVP award. So I think it'd be a nice transition for him back. You just hope he stays healthy, but so many question marks there. I mean, what do you think of Rose over the summer, and how effective you think he'll be?
he looks incredibly rusty.
Yeah, especially with shooting. I think he shot 25% in the tournament, so that's not a good sign. But I'm not going to judge Rhodes until Christmas time. Then we'll finally evaluate him around that time.
The Bulls also drafted Doug McDermott, and their Eurostash guys finally coming over. Nikola
Great draft.
Mirotic.
Yeah, I heard people compare him to Tony Kukoc, so that's saying a lot.
He looks better than him to me. I mean, it depends on how he'll adjust the NBA. That's with all these guys.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. But they still kept Jimmy Butler.
Yep.
They amnesty Carlos Boozer, which a lot of fans in Chicago were ecstatic about.
Yeah, but they waited till the final year to where they only had to pay him for 1 year
Yeah, yep.
because even Reinsdorf didn't want to do it either. They had to twist his arm to get him to do it. Oh God.
Well, Weinsterf is he's kind of cheap.
I know that's why they waited till the last year. It was
Yeah,
possible.
he's more. I don't know if it's crazy because the Bulls have one of the biggest franchises in sports, but still he puts more effort into the White Sox. Um, the other thing is Pau Gasol. I think it was great for Pau just to get out of LA. Whatever happened in 2011, it just I don't know. There's just something up with Pau. I even had this girl come up to me and ask me. I was wearing a Lakers shirt, and she was like, "Why is Pau Gasol playing like a pussy?" I was like, "I can't believe this girl just said that." But yeah, I don't know what it was, but Pau just wasn't himself over the last couple of years. But I think with Thibodeau, I think it's the coach he needs, and they'll slow it down, throw it into the post, and it'll just fit his game better.
I mean,
I really think
he's
it's
gonna
better.
get to go back to the four too.
Exactly, yeah. Him playing with D'Antoni was it was a nightmare for him. So
God, Jody makes a contract though.
yeah,
Oh my
yeah.
God.
We'll talk about that with Stan Van Gundy. But yeah, I mean anything. I mean the Bulls. In my opinion, they have the best coach in the league. They still got top notch defenders. So you're expecting them to be the have the best record in the East, right?
Yeah, probably. I mean, but I mean, I could see the Cavs doing that too because LeBron pretty much by himself guarantees you 60 wins, and he's got way more talent than he did the last time he was in Cleveland. Like the first
And
time.
not to mention, yeah, we didn't talk about how you got Sean Marion and
Oh God,
you know
Sean Mary.
uh, what Jimmy Jones coming. All these guys that have played with LeBron in the past are jumping ship to Cleveland.
Well, Sean Marion never has, but
Oh yeah,
and then Ray Allen's still up in the air.
yeah, Ray Allen, Mike.
Nobody-
You got Mike Miller and
Ray Allen's the only. I was waiting for everything to get resolved before I recorded one of these. Ray Allen's really the only one. I'm pretty sure
yeah, we can't wait forever though, right?
if he doesn't retire, he will probably be a Cleveland Cavalier. That would be my guess. But yeah, LeBron just seems to attract veterans like flies to shit. So
Yeah. And you're right about LeBron. He did lose weight over the summertime, so it remains to be seen whether that's going to help him or hurt him. But
he
I think it.
he looks completely different. And he's down to 250, looking that slim down. So that should tell you that those 275 numbers weren't bullshit.
Yeah.
People thought they were, and I was like, no, that dude's that big.
But even if Rose doesn't have a great year, they're still gonna be a great team because of Thibodeau and the system. So um,
Yep.
we're going with Chicago. I think Chicago will be the best seed in the East, the top seed in the East. Um, you want to jump into the Knicks?
Ugh.
I think it was a brilliant, an ingenious move bringing in Derek Fisher. I don't think Steve Kerr was quite the right fit for New York, but I love Fisher. I think the guy could run for president. He really impressed me with a lot of the local interviews he did. But what are your thoughts on Carmelo and him fitting into the triangle?
He doesn't.
You don't think he will?
No. It's a
Because
lot of
he's not a great passer, right? Is that why?
well that, and he just doesn't pass.
Yeah, I think he, you know, to be effective in the triangle, you really have to have a nice fadeaway jump shot. I'm talking about at his position,
He's
like
got
Jordan.
that.
I don't know. To me, he's more of like throw it out to him on the wing, one-on-one jab step type of guy. He's not going to be able to do that, and I don't know if he'll be comfortable in the triangle at first, but it definitely should give him more options offensively, and it should limit the amount of double teams that are thrown at him. It should make things easier for him, but he's just got to adjust. But I could just see him being really uncomfortable for the first half of the season.
I don't even. They're gonna. You realize right now they're planning to start Andrea Bargnani and Amari Stoudemire.
Oh man, and I think that's the reason why Kerr didn't take the job. He was really down on Amari and Carmelo's chemistry, so that might have had more to do with it. But yeah, I think the Knicks will still make the playoffs though.
I don't know. They didn't really improve all that much. I mean, they signed Jason Smith, who's really good, but
Well, they got rid of Felton, which was huge, and for some reason Chandler just wasn't himself last year.
he's
So
hurt all the
I think
time.
that was a good trade for them to get Calderon, and they got Nazir Muhammad. So
Oh yeah, they got called around.
but you don't think they'll make the playoffs?
I don't like if they don't play that much better than they did last year. I mean, it's pretty much the same pieces outside of Calderon and Chandler being swapped.
Yeah, but it's pretty much the same core that won 54 games the year before. So
Yeah, but
if
yeah,
they
I
just
know
stay healthy, I think it's a possibility. But a lot of it, like you're right though, a lot of it had to do with Chandler just being great a couple years ago.
they don't have that defensive pressure for right now. They don't
Right,
have that.
right. That'd be a question mark. But on the bright side, so last year they have Amari on the books, so things should definitely turn around for them next season. But I can see them, jumping in maybe seventh or eighth seed at the best.
Yeah, it's still the East. You can still be kind of bad and make the playoffs.
That's right, man. Um, yeah, you want to let's jump into Brooklyn. Jason Kidd left the Nets in June to join the Milwaukee Bucks. I'm pretty sure a lot of it had to do with Derek Fisher and Steve Kerr getting really good deals.
Yeah, huge paydays off of first-time
Yeah,
rookies, whereas he took something that looked reasonable.
yeah. What? Yeah, okay. And they also gave him director of basketball operations.
That was rumored.
It
He's
was
he
not. It's not. That wasn't true.
Yeah, he didn't have that, but he basically he informally has that. He doesn't officially he had that.
And you were shocked when he did that. You thought it was kind of like you never heard anything like that before, right?
Yeah, he just fucking left, and
It was an asshole move, man.
he
Yeah.
took God, Larry Drew's job. Just flat out took it. Dude didn't deserve to be fired.
Oh
What
no.
whatever.
But Brooklyn does have Kevin Garnett coming back, but Paul Pierce went to the Washington Wizards.
Yeah. Feel bad
But
for
I
Otto.
mean, Darren Williams continues to disappoint me. You know, everyone was expecting Brooklyn to be a powerhouse, but he just doesn't. You know, he can't stay healthy during the regular season. They waited way too long to really get any momentum going last season. I know Joe Johnson played excellent. You know, ever since January started, but I don't know. I just don't have any confidence in that backcourt. You know, Darren and Joe Johnson, they're talented, but to me, they just don't have like the intangibles. So I think Brooklyn, well, they'll make the playoffs, but you know, you can't expect them to make it out of the first round.
Well, they're getting Brooke Lopez back, but they didn't really make any additions outside of that, and they lost Pierce, who was huge for them.
And we'll see if Brooke Lopez could stay healthy. You know, he didn't really play last year, so
No,
who knows? Because you know, he seemed a couple years ago he was really. I think he almost made the All Star team. So not a fan of Brooklyn.
no, he did make the All Star team in 2013.
He did, right?
Yes,
Yeah. So that's huge. If you know
he can
him
stay
and
healthy.
Garnett together for a whole season, who knows what could happen there? So yeah, you know, let's jump into Indiana. Really unfortunate situation. You know, Paul George had a fractured his leg, uh, had a compound fracture while playing with USA Basketball. So he's going to be pretty much out the whole season. He did say he might make it back for the playoffs today. That was reported.
Mm-mm.
But yeah, they lost Lance Stevenson and Paul George, so they're pretty much screwed. I mean, just looking at their roster today, it just doesn't look like the same team. I mean, they got Hibbert in the middle, but other than that, you know, just David West.
It's David West is actually also considering retiring, like right now.
Wow, man.
Yeah, like he might
He's
not
only
be
like,
there.
so I feel bad for Larry Bird and those guys, but you know, they had their chance last year and they just melted down and fell apart.
I've never
I
seen
don't know
any.
why. I think yeah. I think the problem. Let me just say this. With Lance Stevenson, I think him not making the All Star team was the worst thing for them because after you could just tell after the All Star break they were competing against each other because they had pretty much already locked up the top spot in the East, and then they just they should have lost to Atlanta in that first round. So like you even said to me, you never saw anything like the Indiana meltdown.
No, it was so weird. It was so weird. They just stopped being who they were, and just they went from elite to pathetic in like matter of months, and there's no injury or anything. It was all mental. It
Yeah, and
was
then you had
all mental.
Hibbert was like calling guys out like every week leading up to the playoffs.
But he
So
was the worst one.
and then yeah, exactly.
He was
Well,
like the
he
biggest.
averaged like 1 point and 1 rebound against the Hawks.
That was just terrible. That was terrible. I've never seen anything like that. Don't know if we ever will again. Like they choked before there was even anything to choke about.
Also, we got the Charlotte Hornets, where I think you know Jordan is going to under a lot of pressure to get this season off to a hot start because they're Charlotte Bobcats have become the Charlotte Hornets once again. And I don't know, there's something about the Hornets in Charlotte that they really have a lot of good history there, and I think a lot of people are. I'm excited about it. You know, they got a lot of great talent coming in, Kemba Walker and Lance Stevenson, and then you got Big Al Jefferson, the MVP candidate. So I think they'll. I think this is the sleeper team of the East. I mean, what do you think, Chase?
Uniforms look dope. Starter jackets are back. That court looks nice.
Oh yeah, the Hive, the
Yeah.
old Hive. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. We were talking about Charlotte Hornets. My phone went off. You guys probably won't hear that, but besides them will probably be a sleeper team. They'll probably, I think they might be the fourth seed, maybe better, but they'll definitely make the playoffs and be much improved. But besides them, the Hawks look okay, and then the Magic are still tanking. The 76ers are like putting on a tanking clinic,
Yep.
which I don't want to shock you guys, but they're the only franchise that's against the new lottery changes that are about to be put in place.
Can you explain that?
I don't remember them off the top of my head, but I
Oh,
think it
okay.
was
Yeah,
more
yeah.
like
No, don't worry about.
it
But you know,
was
they got to beat,
the
and
the
they
basic
got
thing. The
Nerlens
basic,
Noel, so they're pretty stacked for the future though. And Michael Carter Williams, that's a solid nucleus heading forward. And they got tons of draft picks coming up.
yeah, whatever. But I don't know the specifics right now off the top of my head, but basically they want to change the lottery towards more even across the board and not like they don't want it to be where right now if you have the worst record you're guaranteed a top 4 pick. They want it to be like you're guaranteed top 6 and you don't have a greater
Yeah,
chance of getting any of those.
yeah, they were asking Adam Silver about that at his one of his first press conferences. Um,
I mean, they want
and
to
a lot of it had to do with them tanking last year. So you're right. I mean,
and
they should fix that because you can't have we can't have what happened last year where you have 10 teams tanking. It's terrible for the league. So yeah, I mean, you got to do something about it.
Sixers are going to be horrible.
Well, the
West,
future does look bright in my opinion, but that'll be years down the road.
I don't know. It's like how long are they going to give Brett Brown?
Everyone thought Thabit was going to be the number one pick, and they got him. So
You mean
I got to
Embiid?
say that they had a good offseason.
You mean Embiid?
Am I saying Thabit?
You said
Oh my
Embiid.
God.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
just did
Joel.
that.
I'm sorry, Joel Embiid. I get those two mixed up. The other dude just got cut from the Thunder. How did I get them mixed up? I'm sorry.
I don't know, but I know this why the 76ers drafted him. He ain't gonna play all year.
We could have shut him down just like Nerlens.
He's not like he's not gonna play this year. And then their other first rounder is not even it's just being off in Europe. And if he gets hurt, that's even better.
But he has a broken foot and a broken back.
Embiid?
Yeah,
No, it's just a foot thing.
and his back is all right now.
I don't know.
Yeah, something's up with his back too. But hey, at least they got him. So I mean, any other teams in the East you want to talk about?
Nope, not even the Pistons.
Well, yeah, they did get Stan Van Gundy, and they gave him a shitload of money and a shitload of power. And he signed Jody Meeks and Karan Butler and
For both for way too much
whole bunch
money.
of different guys. But I don't think they'll be that good.
No. Greg Monroe looks like he's ready to bolt. Took the tender.
I thought he just signed with them.
He signed the year $5 million qualifying offer.
Oh, okay, so he'll be out next year.
He'll be unrestricted next season.
All right, cool. All right, so who do you want to start with out west?
You can go anywhere, but there might be like 10, 50 win teams out there.
Yeah, I know
It's ridiculous.
it's a crime. They got to do something about the playoff situation because you can't have Phoenix, who pretty much won 50 games
48
last
in the lottery.
48, 49 games, whatever it was, and then you got Atlanta Hawks winning 38 games, getting into the playoffs, and them not. That's ridiculous. But I don't know what to do. I mean, you don't want to. I
They
wouldn't want to mix up both conferences, but I don't know. They got to do something.
I mean, the easy thing to do would just be jack the Major League Soccer system, whereas you just actually Silver's talked about wanting to get rid of conferences and just have the top 16 records go, and not even have conferences,
Yeah,
and just have it be like West Bracket Championship and East Bracket Championship.
it's worth a try. I mean, I think the traditionalists like myself probably wouldn't like it at first, but
I mean, but there's like a clear difference in the styles between the two conferences, which still
oh,
persists for some
definitely,
reason.
definitely, yeah.
I don't know how, but
But you know, to me, the team that improved the most out west is probably Dallas because they got Chandler Parsons. They got Tyson Chandler back, who's a great fit with Rick Carlisle. So I got to give it up to Dallas. I mean, they lost Vince Carter, but I don't really think you can win a championship with Vince being your shooting guard at this stage. So I got to say it's Dallas. They did lose Sean Marion though, but he was getting old.
he's still a great defender.
Yeah, yeah, I know. You got Chandler Parsons can't do what he does on defense, but
No,
they're different. But I mean, do you think Dallas had a great offseason, or you don't
yes,
seem?
I think everyone in the Southwest Division, minus Houston, had a great offseason.
And it looked like Houston was going to run away with having the by far the best team coming into this season because they were going to sign Bosch,
And
and
they were keep
you told me they
Parsons.
almost kept Parsons too.
Yeah.
But instead they just got Trevor Ariza, who you're not too high on, but you know you
Oh,
never know with him.
He in his contract years, he's an incredible basketball player. In his non-contract years, he's getting that check.
No doubt. We've seen it a couple times.
Yeah, I mean they'll still be good. They still have the best pick and roll combo in the entire NBA, the best pick and roll ball handler, the best pick and roll finisher. Even though he hates playing pick and roll and he wants to be a post up guy, which he's not. Uh, they have a bunch of 3-point shooters surrounding them. They should still be really good, but they won't be. I don't think they're winning 54 games. But that whole division, top to bottom, looks like a just fucking death gauntlet this year.
Houston will still be solid. I think they're better off without Jeremy Lin. You know, Jeremy made a lot of mistakes against Portland in some of those games, so I think they'll pretty much have the same exact season they did last year. You know, you would expect more out of Dwight, but uh, since we're in the Texas still, what do you think of the Spurs? I mean, they signed Popovich, they signed Tony Parker. You know, Duncan's back. Um, what do you think of Kawhi Leonard? Just his overall impact. I think in the finals and you know when they didn't have him in the regular season, they were dramatically different. But just his you know just his overall presence just makes him so much better.
Besides Kyrie Irving, the two guys I heard most about before the 2011 draft were Kenneth Faried and Kawhi Leonard. And those two guys both ended up slipping, and it's clear that they were both wrong. Both should have went way higher.
You know,
That
I think George Hill for Kawhi that was probably one of the best trades of the decade.
yeah,
So
it's fair
I
for
mean,
both
did the Spurs
sides.
make any adjustments coming into the season? I'm not sure if they brought in anyone else,
No, they literally re-signed all their guys.
even Matt Bonner and
Yep,
Marco Bellinelli. And
and yep, they re-signed all of them.
all right, cool. Yeah, so as long as Kawhi doesn't break his hand like he did last season, they'll be. I expect the same from them. Um,
Yeah, it was Tim Duncan and Manu's final year.
yeah. So who am I? All right. Why don't we jump to L.A.? The Clippers. They got a new owner. They got all that crap taken care of. They got Spencer Hawes.
Yeah,
They signed him to a 4-year deal. So I think that's a good pickup.
they've been needing a backup big for years.
Who else? They signed another guard, right? I can't remember.
Oh God,
Another big name.
I don't think it was a big name. Let's
But while
see.
you're looking for it, I'll just talk about the Clippers. I mean, I know you were down on Blake before last season, but you could tell Doc's influence really had a big effect on him. He was definitely the third, I would say, the third runner-up MVP candidate. He really, you know, showed, you know, improved his offensive repertoire last season
They didn't.
especially when Chris Paul was out. Well, I'm sorry, Chase. Who did
They
they
didn't.
sign?
They didn't sign a guard. They signed Joe Ingles from Europe.
Was it besides Spencer Hawes? Didn't they sign like another?
Joe Ingles. That'd be.
That
Oh,
was it.
Jordan Farmar. That's it.
Jordan Farmar. That's it.
Oh,
Okay, yeah,
he's okay.
yeah. Farmar is good. Um, yeah, man. I mean, as far as the Clippers go, they had a nightmare that Game 5 against OKC when Chris Paul turned the ball over. There was some bad, you know, referee calls. It was a very controversial game. But I mean, do you think they'll now that they have all the Donald Sterling crap out of the way? I mean, would you consider them the favorites or?
I don't. I don't think there's a favorite out west. I think that's a dumb. I mean, they'll win their division. OKC's not in their division, right?
So
Or
you kind of like the same. You feel the same way about them, same way about DeAndre.
no? DeAndre got a lot better last year.
Yeah. So yeah, so did Blake and Jamal Crawford, the sixth man of the year. I still think they have a loaded team. They're a lot of fun to watch, and I just think with new ownership, it'll definitely help the atmosphere of the team. So, but you know, it's pretty much a toss up. OKC, San Antonio, the
Oh,
Clippers.
yeah. Phoenix is somehow still really good. I thought they were going to lose Bledsoe, but they ended up giving him all that damn money he wanted anyway.
Yeah, he got 70 million for 5 years.
Yeah,
That's
incredible.
huge for someone that never made an All-Star team. I would say that's huge money. But
Besides Gordon
but
Hayward,
the problem with Bledsoe is he actually got his meniscus shaved last season, so there might be some side effects down the road. But you know, I don't think you have to worry about them anytime soon. Um, but yeah, I love Phoenix. I love Jeff Hornacek. You know, they should have made the playoffs last season. Definitely the most overachieving team. I don't think everyone expected them to tank, but you know they ended up being one of the most exciting teams to watch. So yeah, I'm excited about Phoenix. Who else did they sign? Chase
they signed Isaiah Thomas and Zoran
and
Dragic.
Isaiah Thomas. Yeah,
And
yeah.
Zoran Dragic, who's Goran. I mean, what's his? Isn't it
Dragic is brother. Yeah.
Goran Dragic and Zoran Dragic. That's it, right? I don't know. All I know is Twin Dragons. It's an easy way to
But
remember
yeah,
them.
expect a lot of guard play next season. Maybe playing three guards at the same time, depending on how that affects them defensively. We'll see how that goes. And yeah, so let's move on to the Lakers. They hired Byron Scott. Chase, what are your thoughts on Byron Scott? I know he coached Chris Paul when he was in New Orleans, but what are your impressions of him?
He tends to let players play, and the quality of his players tend to dictate his record. He was in New Jersey, his record was really great. He was in New Orleans, his record was really great when Chris Paul wasn't hurt. And then,
Yeah, I mean he took the Nets to the finals 2 years in a row, his first 2 years. So
yeah,
I think he's a good coach. You know, when he was with Cleveland, you know, he was just didn't have a lot to work with, just like Mike Brown last year. So I think that kind of hurt his resume a little bit. But you know, just watching some of the Lakers training camp interviews, he seems like he's focused. He just seems like he's really going to be on guys' asses this season. He's put a lot of effort into conditioning. Kobe said this is the most he's ever run in any training camp. So I think that says a lot. He's a disciple of Pat Riley, Byron Scott.
I don't know.
So I mean, yeah, I was kind of disappointed with the moves the Lakers made in the offseason. I mean, on paper, you would have expected something bigger, but they got Jeremy Lin. They had a nice draft. They drafted Julius Randle. They got Boozer on amnesty from the amnesty thing. So yeah, I wouldn't say it was a terrible offseason, but I just don't know if Kobe can win without a legit big man. So we'll see.
He's not the same player anymore either. Like even those 6 games last year, he kept trying to do his moves on that right leg, and he just didn't have the strength anymore.
Yeah, but that was without an off season though.
He had an off season.
Well, he didn't get any time to train though.
What he's doing the whole time, but I don't know. He's had a whole year
Yeah, no, he
now.
put on weight. He even admitted that he was just eating and just didn't have time to. He just couldn't really do anything. But I
Yeah.
think now that he's lost 12 to, I'm hearing about 12 to 15 pounds. Apparently he looks great, but the Achilles is a tough injury to come back from. But I think there's a good chance he could still average about 25 a game. But it's just not going to be in the Western Conference. It's just not going to be enough. So I don't have a lot of confidence, but I wish Kobe the best. He's my favorite player. So
Portland will probably be the same, although they didn't. I don't think they added. Oh wait, they
they
added
signed Steve Blake.
and Chris Kaman. Yeah.
Chris Cam. Yeah.
Ugh.
I'm expecting the same from them. I think Lamarcus Aldridge. This is last year, right?
Yeah, but they've been talking extension, and I don't
All
see
right,
why
cool.
he'd leave.
I was kind of surprised Damian Lillard didn't make the USA team.
They had a bunch of point guards. Look at the choices they had. They
But
couldn't.
like, I would have taken him over Kyrie Irving.
I would have taken John Wall over both of them.
Really? Wow.
He's a better defender. Plus, he has all their offense skill and he's faster.
Well,
But
Lillard was kind of exposed against the Spurs last year. Remember they couldn't even keep him on Tony Parker, so they
no,
had to put Batum on him.
there's no exposition to it. The dude's the best jump shooter in the NBA. Yeah, I'm including Stephen Curry. Damian Lillard's the best jump shooter in the NBA. He's incredibly gifted offensive player. Could not give two fucks about defense. And in a 7-game series, you can exploit the shit out of that.
Yeah.
Of course, the problem is that when
That,
you,
that was nice.
yeah,
No, they did beat the Rockets in an excellent 7 game series, so they got a little bit of momentum going into the season. It's not like they have no momentum, but
I just felt like I felt like they treaded water where everyone around them improved.
I,
Meaning,
I could see that. I mean, they really didn't. Yeah, they didn't do much. So,
there's a team that did do something though.
what about Golden State?
Oh yeah, them. Oh, they didn't either. They were in the big in the. They did the same thing. They they had a chance to get Kevin Love. All they had to do was
Trey Trey Clay Thompson, right?
yeah, and they would have got Kevin Martin back. So you'd got your.
I don't think I would have done that deal.
I, it's Kevin Love.
I'm not high on Kevin Love.
It's Kevin Love. I don't know. Well, we'll see how they feel about that. But they're pretty much like Portland. They didn't really do anything either. They're just hoping
Well,
everybody
I
stays.
think they definitely have the best backcourt in the league. The one thing Mark Jackson gave them was great defense. Remember, we thought it was like it'd be crazy how Golden State was going to play defense and offense, but I thought Jackson did a great job, but he got fired. It's just going to be tough to see if they accept Steve Kerr right away. You know,
I don't know. I mean, gonna need like a couple of months of watching them to really answer that, but we'll see. I don't because we don't know. We literally know nothing about the guy. He was a GM. That's his only other prior basketball staff experience besides being a player. Like he went straight from
right, right.
color commentary to coaching, which
Right,
is
he had no resume at all as far as coaching goes. You know, it just shows you how powerful Phil Jackson is.
yeah.
As soon as his name was out there, it was like boom, $25 million on the table. But I think Golden State's a nice fit for Kerr though. You know, he was a great shooter. He's getting to work with two great shooters. They signed someone else to Golden State though. That I mean, what was their big move of the offseason?
I thought it was keeping Clay Thompson. I didn't know they made one. Is there something I'm forgetting? Is there something?
They was I was going to say Jared Jack, but no, that's not right.
No, Jared Jack is Sean
They
Livingston.
signed an athletic guard, Mo, no, not Mo Williams,
Leandro Barbosa?
Barbosa. There you go.
Yeah.
That's a nice pickup.
For their bench, yes. Talk about them now.
All right, so who's the other team you were bringing you wanted to bring
Talk
up?
about them now. How Daryl Morey's an idiot for giving New Orleans Omer Sheik for nothing, thereby creating the most monstrous post defense in the NBA has seen in years. I can't wait.
We're talking about your team now,
Yes,
New Orleans Pelicans. So what was the deal for Osik? It was
a
what
bunch
was
of
the
paper.
trade
It
from you?
was it was okay. The 2015 draft pick, which is protected 1 to 3 and 11 through 20. So if it falls into any of those, New Orleans gets it. If it falls in between those, Houston gets it. And then a bunch of paper contracts. New Orleans literally gave up nothing. I mean, you can care about draft picks if you want, but if you're getting Omer Sheik back, what does it matter if you got? I love that trade.
So you really like Osik and Anthony Davis together defensively?
Yes, because it
You don't think they'll get killed on the pick and roll or
no, because Anthony Davis can blitz the fuck out of it, and the Sheik can just hang it back. Like the problem was last year is that the way Monty Williams coaches that he hedges hard on the ball handler, so it's basically blitz and recover. But we didn't have a guy that was mobile enough to do that. Although Davis is, but if he's blitzing, there's nobody back there at the rim.
back to yeah, right.
Basically, Drew Holiday and Anthony Davis can be all risky as hell as they want to because they know they're going to have a Sheik back there just standing, and it's great. It's great.
Yeah, especially when you guys did the three guard lineup. You said you were killed. You got killed defensively when you had Tyreek, Eric Gordon, and Drew Holiday in at the same time.
Yes,
So,
but they were killing it offensively.
yeah,
I,
is Ryan Anderson coming back or
he is
is he?
100% cleared. He's already
All
going.
right. Oh, great. Okay. And is Eric Gordon's knee better or is
He's 100% cleared. He's already going.
now you wanted Eric Gordon traded, right? Did they try to trade him?
No,
There's nobody was interested in picking up that contract.
no. He's got a player option for this year. Don't know whether or not he's going to pick it up or not.
But I don't know. It seems like he's really not even at the level where he was. Remember 2012 when he started fucking up your Anthony Davis plans?
Yeah, and he got
He's not
hurt.
even at that level anymore,
He
right?
got hurt. It was great. He had to have surgery. I didn't need him scoring 30 points a game.
So what do you think, man? You think you guys will finally make the playoffs this year?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah. The top
And
six.
a lot of people, remember we had that discussion about the worst contract in the league. I think you said Josh Smith. One of the guys on the starters was adamant that it was Tyreek Evans by far.
That's
But
insane.
you just thought like not enough people were watching the games.
Yeah, and plus, look at what Gordon Hayward and Chandler Parsons just got, who essentially play the same position. They got way more money,
Got
and
way more. Yeah,
yeah, it's just $11 million a year. Doesn't matter.
he does need to work on his jump shot though. And I just thought he was a lot better like when he was a rookie.
He had a really good year last year. Like he beat the Oklahoma City Thunder in a game where he was pretty much playing by himself.
And he beat the Knicks by himself too.
Yes,
When him and Ryan Anderson were healthy, I remember them playing well together.
I mean
So
that's the thing. It's like those two are
I
probably
mean,
going to come up.
but let's face it, New Orleans had a nightmare of a year with Drew Holiday going down and Ryan Anderson going down. Just so much crap going. Even Anthony Davis broke his hand in December, so they got they had a tough year, which didn't really get a lot of attention. So they got hopefully they'll just have a much better year.
I'm hoping.
The Jazz, man. I don't know anything about their new coach, but they matched the offer for Gordon Hayward, so they got him back. What do you think of Dante Exum from Australia? He really didn't impress during the summer league. I just don't remember him shooting very well.
Oh,
What are your thoughts on him?
I think if you're a parent and you want your kid to be in the NBA, you need to move to a foreign country and like limit the visibility of them because that's what happened to Dante Exum. Nobody knows anything about him. He went fifth overall, and I don't think he should have gone that high just from what
Yeah,
we
I know. Like
barely see.
nobody knew anything about him. So
It's still like that. They drafted totally on hype.
and what do you think of Minnesota now that they got rid of Love? They're kind of in rebuilding mode with Flip Saunders
I don't
taking
like
over things.
that team. Looks really fun though.
Yeah,
It's
you got Mo Williams, you got Andrew Wiggins,
Thaddeus Young, Anthony Bennett, Ricky Rubio's going to be able to run and do shit free.
and what happened to so Rick Adelman retired? Did they hire? Who did they hire?
They didn't hire anybody. That just Flip Saunders just stepped into it.
Really? Wow. Okay.
Yeah, but they'll probably be bad. But they got talent to be good.
Wiggins actually wanted to be traded, so I think when LeBron got to Cleveland, there was too much gossip going on. So I'm happy for him. He'll get a chance to show what he can do. Um, Trying to think of some other teams out west.
We
I
didn't
think we
really.
touched on everyone, Chase.
Yeah, I mean, okay, we didn't really talk about OKC, but it's pretty much they got those two guys.
What do you think? What did you think of Kevin Durant pulling out of the USA? I mean, you were cool with it, right?
I don't think that was his decision. Pretty sure the Thunder told him to do that. because he was still doing the practices and everything. It was really sudden. Like they were
Yeah,
about to go to Spain. Like Mike D'Antoni, Mike Krzyzewski had to change what they were doing on the fly because of how sudden it was. Like I really think it was just Thunder brass telling him to
yeah.
we don't want that happening. Even though you can get hurt anytime. Tyreek Evans strained his hamstring in a pickup game, so whatever. But
But
yeah,
I'm happy that Katie got some well deserved rest. You know, him and Westbrook pulled out too. He didn't take part of USA, so they'll come back fresh. I mean, they did lose Davos Cephalosha to the Atlanta Hawks, so I think defensively they'll be worse. They signed is Anthony Morrow from the
yes.
Pelicans.
Oh,
What are your thoughts on him? He's going to get the starting job, right?
he should. He was in.
That's just projected right now.
Yeah. He's an incredible shooter, and he improved on defense as the year went along. I was kind of surprised. He's a lot more than just a stand-up still jump shooter now, but guys tend to improve under Monty Williams. But yeah, they're he should start. Oh, Cephalosha went to the Hawks, right?
Yeah, Atlanta Hawks. Yeah,
Yeah. All right. You know, throw out crazy predictions like finals, rookie of the year, MVP, or whatever.
rookie of the year.
Yeah.
I'll probably go with Jabari Parker for rookie of the year.
He's
Um,
he's definitely the only rookie that's featured in the offense. He's gonna have the most
yeah, he's
opportunities.
going to have him. I'm sure Jason Kidd will probably make him the primary scorer out there. Um, NBA Finals. It'll be tough to say to see Cleveland and Chicago both. You know, I can't really see either team going to the finals because it's a they're both in transition years. Man, if you had to pick one, I'd probably have to say Cleveland if you put a gun to my head. Out west, I'm going to go with the Clippers.
So you got Clippers, Cavs.
So I got Clippers in Cleveland. That's not what I want to see. I really want to see Chicago and the Lakers in the finals. But
As
but
one of the
yeah, I mean if you, but I think Blake Griffin has made tremendous strides, and with Doc being his coach, you could just see the overall effect it's had. So I'll go with Clippers and Cavaliers. The reason I'm not going to go with the Bulls is because it's all too many question marks with Derrick Rose and Gasol. But I think they'll probably have the best record in the East, but I can't pick them to go to the finals. So what do you think, Chase?
I think it's gonna be Bulls and Spurs.
Is it the Bulls make it to the finals first year?
What?
Or I mean, Derrick Rose's first full year back
I think they might.
because they're just that good defensively, right?
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? I wouldn't sleep on Miami though. Wouldn't sleep on Wade and
No.
Luol Deng, and that I think Riley is pissed. So we'll see what happens there. So Spurs and the Bulls. Okay,
Yeah. Who do you think's gonna be MVP?
man, gonna have to go with Kevin Durant.
Mine's gonna sound crazily biased. Anthony Davis. I think he's going
That's
to
not a
explode.
bad pick at all,
I
man.
think he's gonna explode. Like if you watched that World Championship, he was clearly the best player on the whole roster.
The whole tournament, right?
Yeah, he's the best player there. He's got
Yeah, he,
way.
he had some amazing games in the tournament. I could definitely you could definitely tell he improved. You said one thing that was interesting. You were saying that you're still not happy with how he guards the post,
Yeah,
like
but
how he goes.
I don't have to worry about that now.
Uh,
Like the
because
thing I
it's
would
just
get worried is that he would gamble, but he would gamble when there was no backup behind him. But now there's a
So he's kind of like Ibaka, like he'll go for too many blocks.
yeah, like if you watch a Sheik never jumps for a block. He just goes straight up. Anthony Davis, even though he's the longest man in the NBA, pretty much he always jumps. But I don't. Most of my concerns get are just because he'll like go way too hard and get out position, but it doesn't really matter anymore. New
So
Orleans saw
MVP, yeah,
New Orleans saw that problem and fixed it with the
your
Sheik.
MVP is Anthony Davis. Wow,
Yeah.
that's a bold prediction. All right, man. So I mean, as far as the NBA season, man, the only thing I just hope is that there's not a shitload of injuries piling up.
I don't think
But
it's
that's
gonna.
on the training staff.
I don't think that's gonna happen until they lighten the schedule.
And the great thing about this year is All Star Weekend is a full week off, right?
Yes, correct.
That should help a lot. So,
Yeah.
all right. So, any final thoughts?
No, it looks looking like it's gonna be fun, and we should do this more often, man.
Yeah, man. Why not?
All right, we'll
All
talk
right.
to you guys later.
All right.
Bye.
See you guys.
Bye.